Hey everyone, it's Josh from Guardian Training and Consulting. What is surviving a critical incident and aftermath? First, we must define what a critical incident is. The World Health Organization describes a critical incident as an event out of the normal range of experience, one which is sudden and unexpected, involves the perception of a threat to life, and can include elements of physical and emotional loss. Often such events are sufficiently disturbing to overwhelm or threaten to overwhelm a person's coping capacity.
So when we talk about when we talk about stress and we talk about acute and specifically also chronic stress, we break down our nervous systems into two different nervous systems. So we have our parasympathetic nervous system, which is what most of you are in right now, and that's a relaxed state, and it's what I call the sex, rest, and digest concepts. So you have the ability to procreate. You have the ability to go to sleep or rest. It's a beautiful Sunday in here in Arizona, take a nap. You also have the ability to digest your food. So in that relaxed state, that's kind of where you're at. Now, when something stresses you out, an acute stressful moment like a critical incident, that's where we go into a sympathetic nervous system or a sympathetic body alarm response. And that becomes fight, flight, or freeze. So when that happens, there are a myriad of different neurochemicals that get pumped into your system. The three big ones are adrenaline, endorphins, and cortisol. So the best way of explaining adrenaline gives you the strength to fight or flight. This is the classic story that you hear about the superhuman strength, about the mother pulling the car off the child. It does amazing things. It's typically short in duration. And when it releases, then you have to go into that restful mode and you kind of have that reverse bounce back, kind of like a heroin addict or more of a meth addict that binges on methamphetamine. They're on the other side. They're going to be sleeping for days on end after they've been up for days on end. Then your endorphins, what those do is they mask pain receptors. So it doesn't eliminate pain. Endorphins don't eliminate pain. What they do is they mask pain. So it's a wonderful cotton drug or hormone that gets pumped in your system that keeps you in that fight or keeps you in that flight. So this is the classic example of the professional sports player getting their arm broken and having the ability to walk off the field and go, "Hey coach, my arm doesn't feel so good." It's like, yeah, because it's hanging by a thread. So what it does is in certain circumstances, like just shooting or stabbing, somebody will feel something, they get stabbed or shot and they feel something warm go down the side of their body. And that's red stuff, commonly referred to as blood. And they don't feel the stab wound or the gunshot wound because endorphins are doing a wonderful thing. The last chemical, the large chemical that gets pumped in your body is cortisol. And what cortisol does is it shuts off all non-life essential body functions. So when you're in a life or death incident, such as a critical incident, which is what we defined, you're not concerning yourself with procreation in that moment. You're not concerning yourself with resting. You're not concerning yourself with digestion. The other thing that you're not doing that is getting suppressed is your immune system. And lastly, what is getting suppressed as well with cortisol is growth. So when we get into that mode of fight, flight, or freeze, we're not concerned about any of that. Think of cortisol. What the job of cortisol is to do is to, your power goes out in your house and you have an emergency generator. The only thing you're going to be running at that point in your house or in your camper is just the essentials. So we're not going to be running light after light after light or TVs or anything like that. We're going to run on just the essential stuff that gets us through a life preservation kind of concept. So that's the same thing cortisol does, is it shuts off all it hits the circuit breakers and goes, this is what I need to do to survive in that moment. So it's awesome that it does that because it keeps us alive. We have a natural proclivity to have life preservation. And so when that happens, that's great. Now, how does that equate to long-term? We'll talk about that here in a minute.